I have a show in 2 days that has sold 9 tickets. Well, hello there. I am post-pandemic comic Joel Byers here to give you a little insight into the life of being a full-time comedian. So as you see me sitting here in an alley, this is where all comedy dreams are born and destroyed. And you're gonna get to see all of that here. I've been doing comedy almost 12 years. In that time, I've done shows as far away as Japan. I've been to JFL, I performed at the Comedy Store, I produced my own comedy special. I have a podcast called Hot Breath, where I've interviewed over 400 comics about comedy. And after all of those interviews, I sit here in an alley, post-pandemic, trying to figure out how to be a comedian again. I think as most people who pursue comedy, they realize as soon as you do it, oh, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm a comedian now. I took the blue pill, which as a comedian is an antidepressant. You're now in the comedy life. You're a comedian now. Well, what does that even mean? A lot of people hear full-time comic. They're like, oh, I want to be full-time. I want to be full-time. I want to make this my job. The reality of a full-time comedian, a lot of full-time comics I know live in their cars.
This is my toilet.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, and jugs? Are those pee jugs?
Yeah, these are full of piss.
Or live with their parents, but they're full-time. I'm hoping with this series that it's going to give you maybe a bit of a reality check of what it means to be a comedian and all that goes into it beyond just writing jokes and performing. So here we are in my home office. Pre-pandemic, I was geared up to be a full-time road comic. I had been doing comedy 11 years. I was about to go on this nationwide tour. I was gonna be booked more than I've ever been booked in my life. And then pandemic hit. All of that evaporated overnight. Everything I knew about being a comedian completely tipped on its head, and I had to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I doubled down on the podcast, which now is a Facebook group with over 4,000 people. It's a YouTube channel with almost 20,000 subscribers, and it's a positive and supportive comedy community that I didn't really have when I started out almost 12 years ago. It was very competitive and negative, and I wanted to make sure that the Hot Breathiverse was a supportive place for comics to learn the craft and develop and network and learn a lot of things I had to learn the hard way, which is part of what I'm doing now in my car, kind of showing you things that I'm having to learn the hard way all over again. So hopefully you don't have to do that. I have a show in 2 days that has sold 9 tickets. What you are seeing is the desperate acts of a desperate comic trying to squeeze every promotion that we have left. And I'm learning through practice that practice makes sad. First things first, I booked a road gig with DoorDash. So we're gonna go hit the rush hour. Maybe promote a bit of the show in the meantime. Okay, so that was a good idea. We've been sitting here 5 or 10 minutes. I'm getting heckled by DoorDash. I was about to do this cool montage showing you the life of being a comedian on the grind, delivering salads to an office of people that hate themselves. DoorDash is like, for content, we're just gonna show you this screen. This is not a commercial for DoorDash. This is more of a warning to anyone that wants to pursue comedy that it's never gonna go like you plan it to go. Part of being a comedian is the perseverance. My early hustle was I'd be at open mics from like 8 to midnight or 1, and then I'd be up the next morning for my work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Not to brag. That was the early grind. Working all day, grinding all night, doing open mics for free. So now I'm at a point to where I'm trying to make it a living, and it's loading. It's teasing me. So what we're about to do now, we're gonna call an audible. DoorDash was a no dash. Ooh. Do you like comedy?